Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I am here over by all of my sugarcane, and as you can see we've got a lot going on now, and it's kind of getting to be a bit of a pain to handle. See, it goes all the way down there and sometimes it's not even loaded in. And not to mention, it's nowhere near where I actually AFK. So I'm thinking today it would be a good idea to move our sugarcane farm over to our industrial district. And I think while we're there, we're going to tackle a couple of other farms as well. So I'm thinking maybe a moss farm would be pretty good. And with a moss farm, you can also make a bone meal farm. So I think we're going to tackle those two today. Both of them are super handy for other farms that we could build later, or other projects that we might work on. So I think I'm going to harvest the rest of this and then get set up over at the industrial district. And so since we've got this industrial district here, I kind of want to expand it a bit, and I might do the bottom layer an entire sugarcane farm, because this thing's pretty efficient, and it needs some paper to go with it. So I will mark out an area under here of kind of where I want it to go, and it should at least still be within render distance of that, so it might need to be pretty close to this. And then we can get started on actually building the farm. Okay, so we've marked out a pretty big square here. Let me get a good shot from up here. It's about the same size as the creeper farm. It goes almost to the edge there. I think we're one block off there, and then a little bit past the edge over here. But I think it's about 33 by 33, maybe a little bit longer. And so this is just the bottom layer. So we're going to add rails to all of this, and then on top of that, I'm going to use moss to actually plant this sugarcane on. I like moss. I think it's easy enough for us to get a lot of, and hopefully we have enough. Hopefully we have enough here. And then on top of that, we're going to do some flying machines just to push all of the sugarcane off. It's a pretty standard design. I think we might need to do 2 or 3 flying machines wide, but let's get that all built, and then I'll show you when that's all done. And just in case you're curious on what these blocks are, why they're different from the regular stone bricks, I've actually got some torches underneath here, some redstone torches. So those are going to power the powered rails on top. So you see that that's powered there. So I've spaced them out probably every 4, and then just one on the end so we can do a turn. And those are actually going to be controlling the cars that are going to be powering them. There we go. Look at that. This looks really cool. I'm really happy with this. I haven't put the outside shell on some of this redstone yet, but I think we might just do a pretty basic design here. I kind of added in these archways to connect it to that platform there with all of the storage. I'm trying for this like a suspended platform thing, but everything's still kind of connected, so it's easy enough to get in between all the different farms. I guess except for that one. Let me show you quickly how this all works. So here we've got a redstone timer, and it's just got a couple of items in there. If we cover this up, that might be a little bit better, but it's got a couple of sugarcane in there, 5 stacks, and then it'll just go back and forth in between it. And every time that this changes, it'll actually send a pulse out to each of these trap doors. So we should see it in maybe just a minute, actually. Yep, there we go. So those go off, and then once it gets to the other side, it's just got this very basic kind of system here where it will detect that a block has updated. In this case, that the flying machine has actually hit the end. It will trigger off that update to the note block, and then it will send it back. So it's just going to do one pass back and forth and then wait back over on that side. But that's pretty much the extent of the redstone for it. And then I've added in a second line, so all of the storage is actually done over on this side. So we've got 2 chests down here, and then 2 hopper minecarts running back and forth, and they're just depositing it out here. So what I'm going to do next, I think, is put up a shell just on the outside here, and then I want to connect all of these chests up to a storage system up on that level. So maybe extending that out a little bit more and then having all of the sugarcane go up to the top. So we just need to stand there. We don't need to come down to 2 different chests if we want to get all the sugarcane for it. So I'm really happy with what I did here. Let me just show you really quickly. So this is the outside of it. I love this, absolutely love it. It's so cool. So I think the part that kind of stands out the most here is these 2 tubes on either side of the build, and these are actually bringing the sugarcane all the way up through the system into the storage, which we've kind of extended out here. So over here we've got all of our gunpowder, and then over here right across from it we've got all of our sugarcane, and it's really working. That's crazy. I've been here for a little while. I haven't really been AFK that much. It's just been what I've been doing as I'm building this up, and we've already got probably a double chest's worth. I've got it spread out between a whole bunch of the chests here, and we've also added in a lot more of the copper and the deep slate. We've also got the back of the sorting for the sugarcane right here. I think this is a cool shot. I wanted to kind of frame this in the center here. And then because I put in a center tube here on this mob farm so that mobs wouldn't kind of fly all over the place, I wanted to keep some of that like smoke and some of the movement from that. So I put some campfires down here. It makes it seem like it's an actual industrial farm because of that. But like I said, I absolutely love how this looks. I love the color palette here that we've come up with. And I think now that we've got the tube down the center, it actually feels more like one cohesive structure as opposed to just a floating farm. So now that we've tackled the sugarcane farm, I think it might be a good idea for us to turn our attention back to this area over here. I haven't really put in another one of these shops in a little while, and I think it might be time for us to do another one. So in addition to the rocket shop, I think it would also be a good idea to add an emerald shop, because we've got quite a few from our raid farm, and I'm thinking a good spot for that might actually be this spot right behind me. It's kind of tucked away, but I think the shape of it works really well. So I've got an idea for a bit of a project for this area that's going to require some terraforming, but we're going to do that in a bit of a time lapse. So let's get into it. There we go. I love the way that this turned out. I think that it fits in really well with the surrounding area. I already had this moss around here, so I think blending it in with that moss over there works really well. And then if we come all the way up here, I kept that moss coming all the way up to the top. I added some trees up here. They're not custom trees. I kind of wish that I had done that, but I wasn't super confident with how they would come out, so I decided just to go with a 2x2 tree and then a 1x1 tree. But I also added some of the azalea saplings in as well, and if you peek over there, I've got a little bit of lighting hidden around here. Some of it's under the moss carpet, some of it's just behind those shrubs and everything like that, but it just helps to light it up and keep it a little bit safe, especially since it's so close to town. And then if we come through the crack in the middle of this cave here, I did take a little bit of time, and I might keep doing some touch-ups just around, just to make this seem kind of natural. And it's all stone right now, which I think is fine with the moss up top. It kind of fits in pretty well. I might add some andesite or granite or something, or tuff. Tuff is a really good block that I haven't used a whole lot, just to mix it up a bit, especially around the entranceway here. But inside, we've got lots of lighting with the, what are these called? Glowberries, and some more of the pointed dripstone as well. But I wanted to cover up all of the moss on the outside and just make it look a little bit more cozy in here. And then in the back, I've added a little bit of a moss grove with another sapling, and then there's some torches hidden underneath those as well to give more light. But I wanted most of the light to come from the glowberries and then a couple of lanterns scattered around on the floor, just to make it seem very bright in here and make sure that it's nice and safe. But I've got some plans on what we can sell in here, and that's going to be the dripstone, moss, the glowberries, which I can't place on the floor here, and then also emeralds. And I think emeralds will look really good in this area if we just dot them around, make it seem like this is kind of where we're hiding all of our riches. But I wanted to include the pointed dripstone as we already have a farm for it over at our creeper farm. And then glowberries, super easy to get, and moss, also super easy to get. Farms like that are super easy. But we have a bunch of emeralds, and I don't think anybody on the server is actually selling emeralds right now. So it'd be a good opportunity for us to set up a shop here and get some people coming in. But overall, I just love the way that this turned out. I'm not super strong with terraforming, and so being able to kind of put in something like this that I'm really happy with was really fun. It took me a while to figure it out, but I think we did a good job. But I think it looks great. I love just the way that it stands out. It seems very natural, which is something that I didn't really expect for this area when I was initially planning it out. I was kind of expecting to do more of like an actual building, like a structure, but I kind of wanted to try out some terraforming around here, and I had some ideas for this area that I wanted to play around with as well that kind of fit the same theme as this, I guess. So I think in the next few episodes we might do a little bit more terraforming around here and try to build out this area a bit. But I think we should take some time now and actually get things set up, because this doesn't look like a store to me. This just looks like a cave. So we got to do some work to actually get this looking right. So there we go. It's not much, but it definitely gets the job done. And I decided not to go with a stall for the glowberries just because they're so easy for everybody to farm. I mean, you could literally pop one off the vine here and take it home, and you'd be able to get as many of those as you need. So we've got 1 diamond for 16 blocks of emeralds. I don't have any stock in any of these right now. I still need to do that, but that won't be too hard. We do have to sit at the farm for a while just to get any, so I think that that's pretty fair. And then over here, 1 diamond for 32. These are a lot more passive just because we can farm them up once we're done at the gunpowder and sugarcane farm. And then over here, we've got moss, 1 diamond for 2 stacks. This is so easy to get that I doubt people are going to come back here to buy any of it, but I figured I would put it down here just in case. And actually, this is looking a little bit dark, so maybe I'll just put another lantern up somewhere. That looks a little bit better. I did put some glow lichen on the walls too, and I'm hoping that that helps to light it up just enough that mobs won't spawn, or if the glowberries here decide to come onto the vine, then it should light up this corner a little bit more too. But overall, I think this looks great. I think that the pop of color with this green here is definitely going to come in handy and catch some people's eyes. And then yeah, I mean, we've got plenty of space in here if we need more barrels or chests or anything like that in the future. But overall, I'm really happy with this. Made it nice and easy for everybody to get up. And then I kind of put in some weathering on the ground here with the tuff and the cobblestone and everything, just because I wanted to make it seem like people have been coming in here quite a bit. But I think that's going to do it for me today, everybody. This has been a great episode. I'm really happy with how this terraforming back here turned out. And we got our sugarcane farm done too, which is going to be super helpful for our rocket shop. I know that I've been just going through rockets, and so being able to have a pretty consistent source of sugarcane and paper and gunpowder and everything all in one place is going to be really handy. But I hope everyone enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye!